Hi everyone, this evening I am playing one of the Napoleonic battles from Napoleon's Wheel, published by the Operational Studies Group. I'm just going through and playing some of the different battles, and this one I've set up for this evening's gaming. Now, it's quite an interesting setup. Now, I've actually gone for the day of battle version for this evening first, and then I'll probably do the longer, more extended version after that. It is quite short. It's only 5 turns. It starts at 5 p.m. and finishes at midnight. Just to give you sort of a bit of background, sort of narrative, historical narrative for the game. According to the scenario book, what we have here is a rear guard of the Russians. I think some Austrian counters in here as well, if I remember correctly. Yes, there's some Austrian counters there as well. And then we have the French. And there's a long, you can't quite see, but off camera, there's this massive line of French reinforcements. And I think even in the short 5 turn version, I can't imagine this line doing too much, but we'll see. And the French basically attack, and it was quite an impetuous attack, as I recall. Just having a look at the sort of narrative in here. Um, yeah, the fighting began about 5 p.m. Okay, on 16th November. We're playing 16th November 1805. The French lost a couple of thousand, and the Russians lost about 1,500, but then not nearly 1,000 wounded as well. So we'll see. So the interesting things from a mechanics point of view, of those turns, 6 p.m. onwards. So six. I wonder if we're quite right. Jordan's from 6 till 9 p.m. Anyway, they are night. Well, they're not technically night turns, but it looks like there's night marches, etc. So I just need to re-familiarise myself as I'm playing through the rules around these night turns. But it definitely looks like, and from memory, the okay, yeah, right, okay. So the movement is by initiative only, and everything's got a reduced movement allowance. So that'll be quite interesting to see how that all shakes out. Looking at the comments, I had a quick flip through Board Game Geek. People are sort of recommending to play the longer version, but I needed something that I could play in an evening. So 5 turns, quite short, and because I need a table basically, I need to play through this evening and put it all away because I need a table for something else for tomorrow. So yeah, get stuck in. It was interesting because when I set it up originally, I thought, boy oh boy, the French have got so many units and the Russians have got hardly any. It's hard for me, but now I'm sort of just looking at the board. We've got some interest. We've got some fire counters here, so the French will not be moving through those, and we need to see what happens with these. So they're going to have to sort of move round here and round here. Now I think you could, if you were playing this. Obviously, I'm playing it solo this evening. I think the Russian player could just move all these units off the board if they wanted to. I'm not going to do that. We'll have a bit of a. We'll move some counters around, roll some dice, and see how it all transpires in sort of the narrative of this battle. So at the end of the first turn, the French actually have done better than I thought. They've been able to push the Russians back slightly. We've got a lot of orchard hex content here. For a little bit, I was umming and ahhing whether I thought the Russians would just move back and hold this defensive position here, and let the French come to them. But we'll try a sort of an approach where they'll try and slow the French down and then move back if necessary. So at the end of that turn, the Russians have definitely given the French a bit of a lesson in giving them a bit of treatment for their being impetuous, and have pushed the French back. The French are actually making quite a bit of ground, and then the Russians are pushing them back. So it's definitely going to be a backwards and forwards I can foresee here in this scenario. No one's taken any sort of technically any step loss casualties, But from a historical point of view, the Russians are holding the French up. There are more French units coming in, so we'll see. Yeah, there we go. Play a bit more. So at the end of turn 3, the French have made a massive mistake and are now on a, as we would say, a right sticky wicket. And basically they overextended themselves, got too aggressive in this orchard area here. We can see this area just here. Slopes and orchards, and too aggressive, and took the fight to the Russians, and it resulted in them having to do a retreat where the retreat was blocked, and in doing so they've lost some of the counters here, some horse and infantry, and I have made it so that the commander, actually is a commander officer, has been captured by the Russians. So the Russians are feeling very pleased with themselves with this result, and the French, made a not doing so well. Got 2 more turns. I'm just going to play it out just to see what could happen. But I feel like the French have is reflective of the history have rushed in with much gusto, but it has resulted in some significant losses on their side. So we'll do a couple more turns just to see. I think one of the nice things about playing these games, and the way I'm playing it tonight, is quite relaxed, quite cheerfully, is to sort of do certain things to see what happens. And often when I play these sort of games like this, especially in the Napoleonic historic period, I like to do certain things a certain way, and then put the counters back and then try it a different way. So I'm very tempted once I finish this to sort of instantly play again and see how things could have gone differently. But I'll do the last two turns. Well, a massive turn up for the books, as again we would say. The Russians have had happen to them what happened to the French, and they have lost a stack here, including their commander officer, some foot, etc. So again, it just shows the even in a very small game like this, and again in my mind and playing through the game, I've had it so that the French have captured that officer in retaliation for their own officer being captured, and maybe there'll be an exchange of these these types after I finish the game. Who knows? But I'm playing it out in my mind, and there's a what I love about war games in general, to be fair. But what I love about playing this game this evening is that I'm getting that narrative, that story that's changed history in the course of an evening's wargaming, playing the game solo. So the French have actually made some significant progress in the last turn. Everything went their way. And we've got one more turn to do. So we'll do that and see how it finishes up. So I've just done the last turn, and the French actually were able to inflict more casualties on the Russians in the last turn. Obviously, the Russian army, in this case, at the sight of their commander officer being captured, have not fared so well. Whereas the French were enraged even more with the capture of their officer. So I mean, that's not in the rules. I've just playing that out in my mind through the gameplay of the game, through the narrative of the game, of this battle. And that is, to be fair, that is what I look for when I'm playing these games solo in an evening after work. But I had a busy day. I just want to wind down a little bit, move some counters around, roll some dice, learn a bit about the history, learn a bit about what if I do this, what if I do that. Always learning the rules a little bit better, even though at times, I'll happily admit I do house rule a lot of games when I'm playing them solo, and just have some fun and enjoy the experience, enjoy the narrative that emerges through the gameplay, and definitely had that this evening. So quite dramatic. I thought when I set the game up and I'd read some stuff about on Board Game Geek about this particular scenario, I was like, well, maybe it's going to be a little bit dry and uneventful. Well, that's certainly not the case in this evening's gaming session. So, and for that, I very much enjoyed my time playing this game this evening. I will do the full scenario, which is a lot more turns, and there's an there's a period where there's no fighting, and I'm interested to see how that sort of again just war games out. So looking forward to that, and then I'll crack on with some of the other battles in this game. But yeah, really enjoyed that this evening. Very eventful, very characterful. That's what I look for. So hopefully that was enjoyable. And yeah, thanks for watching as ever. Thank you.